All right, everyone, welcome to the Tonto's Demise Week 10 recap. 10 weeks into the season already, more than two-thirds of the way through. Already, only 4 weeks left. Season's flying by. I'm sure you all feel the same way. It has been, it's been a rough one. A lot of, so as you know, so many injuries this year. A lot of people, myself included, just getting kicked in the nuts over and over. Some people more so than others. So yeah, it's been a real grind of a year, a slog. I think I said before, just trying to survive and get through the season has been a chore for several people. Some of us not as much as others. But yeah, I don't think we lost anybody this week. No big names went down. The only big name that went down, I guess, is Possum Magic, our defending champion. He is now in the basement. Is that correct? Yeah. He is alone, all alone, in the basement. Possum, going through the trash, eating some leftover scraps, whatever he can find. Just trying to figure out where everything went wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. But, yeah. Possum Magic. Just looking here real quick. Only 3 people have more points than Possum Magic. He's the 4th highest point scorer in the league. But he has the most points against. By almost 100. He's over 1,800 points against. The next highest person he's at 1812. The next highest scored against person is at 1728. Almost 100 points. Yikes. Yeah. Titans of Turf. His point total and his points against are almost exactly the same. Dubsy Hooligans are all... yeah, Zach's is only off by 1 point. Kevin's is only off by like 3. So Gags is 5-5, but he's been outscored by 180 points. Biscuits has been outscored by about 30, 25 or 30. Josh is 5-5, but he's been outscored by 125 points total. Actually, my point total, excuse me, and points against total, there's only 2 points, a 2-point difference. Disco, he's got, I think the rest of the guys here probably have points for in favor. Disco, he's in favor by about 80. Detling by about 130. Justin by about 110. And then Ed. Ed's points for and points against. He's got the biggest one here. 160-ish. Yeah. 1612. Ed is one of the lowest scored against teams in the league. Several people have 1,500, but they're all down there. Somehow, the lowest scored against teams are at the bottom of the standings. So I'll figure that one out. All right. So anyway, let's get into Week 10. We always start with the defending champion. And of course, that is Possum Magic, who just can't catch a break this year. Winning those... Going for that back-to-back championship pot, not as easy as you thought it was, or thought it would be. I mean, just winning a title. I mean, in all fairness, Tree, I think we all know that you're not due for another championship until, 2050-ish? About 20, you're about 2047, 2048. something like that. You're due for your next one, so I don't know why you're so upset, you're so upset of the results this year. But anyway, I mean, it was a fantastic Sunday morning for Possum Magic as Jonathan Taylor went for almost 250 yards, including a bink, 3 touchdowns, 57.5 points Sunday morning for Jonathan Taylor. Disco was throwing his phone, throwing his computer, throwing his remote at his TV, whatever you name it. He was ready to quit the league. He was ready to trade all his stars for trash before, like all the things he's done in the past. Fortunately, thank goodness, those things we did not have to deal with that again. Those things didn't come to pass. But, yeah. So, such a bittersweet afternoon. How quickly, in a matter of about 4 hours, the tide completely shifted on this matchup. And Disco pulls off the victory. 209.9 to Possum Magic 174.2. All right, what do we got for Disco? Josh Allen, Keon Coleman stack goes for 52.5 and 13.5. Jamison Williams finally shows up, catches some passes, goes for a touchdown, gets 24 points. Tez Johnson, only 4 catches, but 2 of them are touchdowns. He gets you 20. Ashan pops off again for this was really the biggest factor in combating Jonathan Taylor. Ashan goes for 43.5 points. So that really made a huge factor, making up for that 50-some there. Reminds me of when Kamara had that 6 touchdown game in the Tonto Bowl against was it Gags? But I mean, then he had I forget what the point total was, but then Mike Evans went and scored almost 50 points by himself. So yeah, that's what happened. Anything can happen. Yeah, you can't give up on your team. So yeah, I think Disco was ready. He was this close around noon on Sunday. But now here we are. All right, what do we got? Brees gets 19.5. Fannin gets 8.5. Rashad White gets 10.5. You're wasted a tranny on your kicker because he ended up getting 0, and it didn't matter anyway. Cleveland defense, Yahoo says 9. I believe their actual total. You got a 9-point bump to 18. But yeah, you climbed over 200 points this week, and it was enough to get past Possum Magic and his 57-pointer from Jonathan Taylor. Lamar Jackson, power not so powerful this year. Power of Purple needs to recharge its batteries over the off season here. Possum. Lamar Jackson 35.5. The Olive gets 21.5. Diggs 15.5. Cortland Sutton 5.5. Like we said, Jonathan Taylor 57.5. Everybody here is for some reason they're half point, 8.5. Derrick Henry 11.5. Godert goes for 8.3. Juwan Jennings in the flex catches a touchdown, gets you 17. Your another San Fran guy, Pinheiro, the kicker, unfortunately only made 2 of his 3 PATs and no field goals. So 1 point from him. And your Tampa Bay defense got roughed up by the New England Patriots. Yahoo says 4. And I believe that is the correct score because we didn't do anything to your... we did not have to make any adjustments to your score there, Possum Magic, because they lost the game, they gave up a ton of points, they gave up a ton of yards, and don't think... What was your other defensive alternative? Jacksonville at Houston. Perhaps in hindsight, maybe a little bit of a better play. Neither one was good. You took Tampa Bay at home, preferable to Jacksonville on the road. But yeah, Really, there was nothing you could have done, Possum Magic, in this matchup. Just looking at your bench, other than getting your players not doing better, and Disco's not doing as well. So, yeah, Jonathan Taylor carried the load for you, but it was not enough to get past the finish line. All right, we've got Disco. He's 5-5. He is in 4th place, and he is one of the 2 teams still alive in the knockout pool. And then we've got, of course, the aforementioned Possum Magic, now 3-7. He is in 12th place. The best possible record he can have at this point is 7-7. We're not going to clap you out quite yet, Possum Magic, but it's win or go home from here on out, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, just to even, it's going to be, it's going to take a miracle, a Christmas miracle, just to get a chance to defend your championship. So yeah, would like to see you even at least get an opportunity, but it is not shaping up that way this year. All right, we really only had, most matchups were done by Monday. We only had, everything was done by Sunday night, Monday. Even Sunday night, I don't really think there was much action going on because Chargers and, well, I mean, Ed, obviously, with his quarterback and Keenan Allen. It's not many people playing Steelers or other stuff. But I mean, most of these matchups were so lopsided that it didn't really matter too much what was going on. The only one that we had with a little bit of drama on Monday night, we'll do that one here. We had Titans of Turf, the Zach's Tots, going up against the Dub C Hooligans. Zach trying to keep his hopes alive. Dub C trying not to slide a little bit further. And for Titans of Turf, he pulls out the victory, keeps his playoff hopes alive. Although both of you are still, now you have the same record. You both 4-6. I guess on the bright side, Kevin, despite defeat here, you're actually still ahead of Titans in the standings here. So we'll see what happens going forward. All right, this one came down to Monday night. Dub C, I'm not sure exactly how far behind you were, but you had all your Eagles. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and the Eagles defense. And Zach, he had Romeo Dubs, who only scored 1.5 points before going out with an injury in this game. Your Eagles defense, at one point in time, had it actually this game pretty close until they gave up some points there. Yardage at the end brought the Eagles' point total down. But Jalen Hurts really wasn't able to do too much. A.J. Brown, really almost nothing at all. It's crazy how much he has kind of disappeared from the Eagles' offense. But anyway, let's talk about the guy who won this matchup. How about that? Titans of Turf, Zach's Tots, 139.3 to 125.35. All right, he's got J.J. McCarthy, 35 points this week. DK Metcalf, 6.5. Again, Romeo Dubs, only 1.5. Michael Pittman, 4. Kamani V. It's thinking about, you got to be thinking about these trades, Zach. I didn't mention this, but I forgot to mention. Well, we'll get to it when we get to his matchup. But Zach, you guys, the East Coast guys. Zach, I don't know. Does Ed or somebody have Zach? Do they have your balls in a vice or something? What's going on this year? Are they holding something over your head that some kind of blackmail on you? Something going on? Because I don't know I don't know what you're doing this year, buddy. And especially now we're going into this week where you're playing Detling, and again, I think Gags has been the same way the past couple weeks. This week coming up, you're barely able to even cobble together a lineup as your roster currently stands. I don't know what you're doing, man. You're trading away your best players. Um, it just yeah. Michael Pittman made me think of this. Like you traded Justin Jefferson for Michael Pittman. I think is one of those, but like yeah, I McBride trade. I mean, I understand. I guess you want Warren to be a keeper, maybe, but like, just I don't know what you're doing. Usually, you're good. You've been right up there. Your first couple of years that you've been in the league, like you've been right up there playoff time, trying pushing for a Tonto Bowl appearance. But this year, I just like the whole East Side. Gags. I mean, Ed's cruising along, kind of, but I don't know. The trades you guys have been making just really. Disco already went into it quite a bit. Just I don't know. You're clearly making trades that's making your team worse. So you're making other teams way better. Yeah, and now with like bye weeks and stuff, like I don't nothing personal, but when it comes to Tonto's demise and your fantasy team, I don't know what you're doing this year. All right, we got Vidal going for 18. We got Kamara 14.5. Tyler Warren 18 points. Woody Marks 16. The Boz goes for 6, and your Detroit Lions defense. Yahoo says 5. Let's see. There really weren't many binks this week. Just a couple. So looks like your point total went up 15 to 20 for the Detroit Lions defense. But yeah. It was enough to get past the Dub C Hooligans. Jalen Hurts only goes for 28, just under 29 points. Devontae Adams, though, 19.5. Another tough one here. Garrett Wilson puts up a donut. 0 points before re-injuring the knee that he was out for quite a while with. So that's going to be a problem for you, Dub C, going ahead as you try desperately to climb your way back up into playoff contention. A.J. Brown, only 3.5 points. Jordan Mason, only 4. Rodriguez, 7.6. Basically, all of his points came from a touchdown run. Cade Otton, good investment here actually for you. He turns out pretty good, 17.2. Rashid Shaheed, in his debut with the Seattle Seahawks, he only goes for 3.3. Dicker the kicker, though, he goes for about 14. And your Eagles defense, I believe the actual score ended up being 25? You said plus 12. Yeah, I think 27 was the actual score for your Eagles defense. But yeah, Kevin, that donuts and just one or two too many single-digit scores there from your lineup. Only it said under 30 points from your quarterback. So it was a 10-7 game. Nobody scored until the halfway through the third quarter. Yeah, it was a rough one to watch for everybody. But like I said already, Zach's Tots and the Dub C Hooligans, both teams are now 4-6, with Kevin actually being in 9th place, while the Tots are in 10th place. Alright, so that was the only one that came down to Monday night. So now we'll just go straight down my Yahoo line here, which I'm always at the top of because it's my Yahoo account. And we've got the Wizard of Wimber going up against Hillbillies on PCP. Just mentioned this a few minutes ago. Now here we are. Brian, your team is trash. Garbage. 100% flaming hot garbage. Top to bottom, front to back, all around, back and forth, pure garbage, trash. Anyway, alright, so Hillbillies was trying to climb out of the basement and prove that he wasn't trash, but the Wizard of Wimber, waved his wand and said, sorry Brian, gotta put you back in your place, starting with Thursday night, the Denver Broncos defense. And the Wizard of Wimber pops off this week, puts Hillbillies on PCP in defeat. What do we got? 230.5 to Hillbillies, 158.6. All right, we've got Drake May going for 36. We've got Puka going for 17.5. DJ Moore, actually a donut from DJ Moore. Shakir goes for 13. Travis Etienne goes for 15.5. Travion Henderson. 34 points. 2 long rushing touchdowns. 1 is a bink. Praise Allah. Travion Henderson. Oh, waited so long to be able to say that. What do we got? Then, 34 points from Travion. Hopefully, his breakout game is here, and he helps me out going forward. The Patriots finally realize what they've got on their roster. Kittle goes for 23.5. Jahmyr Gibbs pops off for 3 touchdowns, 41.2. Santos, my kicker, because Fairbairn injured himself, he gets about 5.5. And then, again, the Denver Broncos defense went on Thursday night, and their score was, 42, I think? Something like that. But yeah, more than enough to get past Hillbillies on PCP this week. His Goff Amon-Ra stack, pretty good. Goes for 56 and 17. Nico Collins, strong showing, 22.5, I should say. But then it's all kind of downhill from here for you. Hillbillies. Jordan Addison, 6.5. Judkins, 10.5. RJ Harvey, just under 4. Brock Bowers, that was your big Thursday night. Like, this matchup was kind of decided on Thursday night. So Denver defense going for 42. RJ Harvey, both RJ Harvey and Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers only 1 catch, and he actually ended up losing some points for you because he had a negative rushing attempt. So yeah, you were under. So both RJ Harvey and Brock Bowers, 3.8, 3.7, both under 4 points each. They're kind of set the tone for this matchup on Thursday night. Parker Washington actually ends up being a pretty good plug and play. He catches a touchdown, and he actually returns a kick for a touchdown, which was a bink for you. So he actually ended up with 21 points. Badgley, the Colts kicker, gets about 7. And your Steelers defense, they pretty much got throttled by the Chargers. That game was another snooze fest for the most part. If you watched it, looks like we got you a 9 would be too much. 8, 7, 5, that would be 6. 6-point bump to 14 for your defense there, Brian. But yeah, several strong performances from the Wizard of Wimber this week. Getting, 230 points. Just not much you can do there, Brian, when that happens. Really for anybody. When your opponent pops off for over 200. Either you're going to have to show up, or it's just going to be a rough one where you just got to tip your cap and move on. All right, what do we got? Wizard of Wimber with the victory. He moves to 5-5 and jumps all the way up to 5th place. Hillbillies on PCP drops to 4-6, but he climbs out of the basement and he is in 11th place. Better than 12th, I guess. All right, what else do we got? We got Darkwing Jet going up against Biscuits and Porn. Darkwing Jet just kind of cruising along this season. Biscuits and Porn kind of just a back and forth, up and down. Can't figure out what he wants to do this year, season. Darkwing Jet gets the victory, 156.95. To Biscuits and Porn, 121.8. Which is a score that I should mention knocks Biscuits and Porn out of the knockout pool, leaving Disco and Detling to go at it here in Week 11. All right, for Darkwing Jet, What do we got? All his Tampa Bay Buccaneers were back this week, even though he traded one away. That was Cotton. Baker Mayfield goes for 54. Tet goes for 11. MHJ goes for 14.5. Egbuka, 100 yards and a touchdown. He gets 23.5. Jalen Warren gets 11. Kyron goes for 22.5. Aronde Gadsden gets 4.5 before injuring his knee. Not sure the severity of that. I mention it because I don't think Justin has another tight end on his roster. Perhaps the fantasy gods punishing you for trading away one of your precious Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Njoku goes for 10. Your Tampa Bay kicker, McLaughlin, goes for about 6. And then your Baltimore, they played Baltimore. Your Minnesota, it was a purple matchup, Power of Purple against Power of Purple. Minnesota, you were on the wrong side of this one, though. Minnesota Vikings defense, Yahoo says 4. Justin, I think we actually had to take some points away from you. The actual score from Minnesota's defense was 1 single point. Fortunately, it didn't cost you this week as Biscuits and Porn. His Bronco-heavy strategy. Actually, he's down to only 2 Broncos in his starting lineup. But Bo Nix, in a juicy matchup against the Raiders there, what should have been. But obviously, that game was kind of a snooze fest. He throws 2 interceptions, only 21.5 points. JSN, 20.5. Lad McConkey, also 20.5. Wandale goes for 12. J.K. Dobbins goes for 9.5. Genty, 15. Mason Taylor, only 1.5. Calvin Austin in the flex, 3.5. Bates goes for about 11. And your Buffalo Bills defense, perhaps a big factor in this matchup, other than those couple single-digit scores. And biggest factor in this matchup is Biscuits and Porn. You got more than doubled up at the quarterback position for Baker Mayfield to Bo Nix. But your Buffalo defense, Yahoo says 6. That must have been the correct score, 6, because looks like we only added some stuff for Jake Bates there. So yeah, that's pretty much the tail of the tape here. Biscuits and Porn. You got outscored at the quarterback position, 53-21. That's a 32-point difference, and you lost by 35 points. So, yeah, you needed your quarterback to come through, and you just needed a little bit of help. You would have a little bit of help from the Buffalo Bills defense. I guess they spent all their energy. As we say, they blew their load against Kansas City. I think was that last week when they just looked unstoppable. Yeah, last week against Kansas City, that they just pressured Mahomes, they embarrassed the Chiefs. But I guess that seems to happen quite often, where like a team plays a game that to them is like almost like a Super Bowl or playoff matchup, really important. They come out and they really play better than they probably are, and they dominate their opponent. And it's like they spent all their energy, and then they go into a matchup that's kind of a trap game. And it is a trap game. They end up losing a game that they should win. What do we got for... Just looking at Biscuits. If you had started... Your only other quarterback was... Caleb Williams, 47 points. That would have been another 26. You'd still lose this matchup. It's really it's easy to sit here. I think if you would have played your Bears, Caleb Williams and a Bears defense, you probably win this matchup. But easy to sit here and say that that's what you should have done. In hindsight, not rolling with Buffalo, and you rolled with Bo Nix all year long. So I guess you're going to live and die as Bo Nix goes. But yeah, this week he stabbed you in the heart. All right, what do we got? We got Darkwing Jet. He's 7-3. He's in second place. Still trying to get back to first. I'm not quite able to yet. And then we got Biscuits and Porn. He is one of the many 5-5s. He is in 7th place. All right, so what do we got next? We're getting through here. We did Disco Possum. We got Ed first place versus Shawshank Athletics. Shawshank just trying to hold on and fight his way, holding on to a playoff spot here. But Ed Logger stays in first place, knocking off Shawshank pretty easily here. 187.6 to 128.2. All right, not much from his Herbert Keenan connection. 37 and 4. Zayflower is 12. Devontae Smith gets a touchdown, gets his 17. James Cook 10.5. Rico Dowdle only 15 points from Rico Dowdle. Probably will he be your keeper next year? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that situation pans out. But the strangest possible scenario that I never would have imagined. Can you imagine next year at the draft, someone taking a first round pick, putting the sticker of Rico Dowdle up there? That's like a top 2 round pick next year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that situation plays itself out. But Rico Dowdle would be like a 15th or 16th round keeper next year. So, assuming that's the direction you want to go, not sure he is on a sustainable pace. Let's say that. But it just blows my mind. This whole Rico Dowdle thing this year. But anyway, Trey McBride goes for 28 points. Josh Jacobs, the two guys you swiped there from Zach, said McBride went for 28. Josh Jacobs just under 20. Loop, the Baltimore kicker, goes for about 12. And the Houston Texans defense gets that gift. I don't know if it was an interception or a fumble recovery, and then a touchdown on the last play of that game. Gift from Trevor Lawrence there. Yahoo says 17. Ed, looks like you got a 15-point bump to 32 for your defense there. So yeah, strong performances, up and down. It was enough to get past Shawshank. We was barely able to put up much of a fight this week. Jordan Love in that Monday night snooze fest gets 29.5 points. Jalen Waddle gets a touchdown, actually 19.5, pretty good. Quentin Johnston, only 9. Debo, 13. Let's see. Bijan, only 11 points from him. He's kind of trailed off a little bit after a hot start. He's kind of trailed off these past couple weeks. Not really sure what's going on there. Kenneth Walker, 8. Dalton Kincaid, 5.5. But I think he actually suffered a hamstring injury, and he's going to be out for a few weeks there for you. I think, but who else do you have? You have Hawkinson on the bench there, who was actually your keeper this year. But you traded for Hawkinson to be a keeper, but you haven't really been using him. Almost looks like you should, honestly, it almost looks like you should be just starting both Falcons running backs, Algier and Bijan, because who knows which one's going to, so they're both producing. Well, Algier actually had he's had a pretty quiet last month or so, but yeah, just maybe forget that I said that. That's probably not a great idea. Actually, now since I'm playing you this week, Josh, so yeah, that's an excellent idea. You should play both Falcons running backs, Algier and Bijan. All right, what else do we got? So Kincaid, but looks like he's gonna be out for a little while. Alec Pierce has become the apple of Daniel Jones's eye. 18.5 points here. Will Lutz, 3 point something. And then the Carolina Panthers defense actually said New Orleans looked horrible last week, so I'm going to guess that's why you went with a plug and play of the Carolina Panthers defense. But New Orleans actually dominates this game, unfortunately. Yahoo says 11 for you, Josh, and I believe that was the correct score because we didn't have to do much there in changing your point total. So yeah, you needed a huge game, excuse me, from Jordan Love on Monday night. Couldn't get it. He had Josh Jacobs and he had Devontae Smith, who did score a touchdown. And all right, with a victory, Ed stays in first place. He is 7-3. He's got Darkwing Jet hot on his heels, trying to catch up to him. While Shawshank joins the 5-5 crew, he is in 6th place. Currently, so if the playoffs started today, Josh would be there. But we'll see what happens going forward. All right, then we got another kind of a snooze fest matchup. This one was never really competitive. Sorry, Gags. Again, yeah. Detling is just kind of, he hasn't even done this. It hasn't even been a struggle for like over a month now. I think he's on like a 5-game win streak, and he's getting and Zach is basically laying over for him this week. Yeah. Anyway, the not so tidy whiteys gets a victory easily, 202.7 to Gags 124.55. All right, for what do we got? Jackson Dart goes for 47.5, though he gets concussed, and we'll see. You have to wait and see, perhaps, if he's going to be available this week. But you've also got Brock Purdy coming back. We'll see. We'll see if he's got a queue. I think they said he could have possibly played last week, so you might be getting Brock Purdy back. So we'll see what happens there if you don't have Jackson Dart. Justin Jefferson, 7.5 points. Drake London, over 100 yards and a touchdown, 24.5. Adunze, a touchdown, 20.5. CMC, 17.5. Saquon, 13. Laporta, 10.5. David Montgomery, 10. The Seattle kicker picked up him. Myers, he actually kicks several PATs and ended up with a couple field goals. He gets you about 16 points in a game that was like 35-0 before you even had a chance to go to the stand and get a hot dog and a beer. That game was over. Again, speaking of Seattle defense, they scored 2 touchdowns on fumble recoveries from Jacoby Brissett. Again, that game was way out of hand very early. It was garbage time, basically, in the second quarter, and Seattle looked like they were going to have a huge fantasy game this week for you. But like I said, this game was pretty much decided, and it was garbage time. Just padding stats here and his points. Seattle really didn't have to try, or they didn't really care. Pretty much the entire second half of this game, they just gave up points and yards and said really didn't have to do too much. Yahoo says 26. Matt, I think you got ended up only with a 9-point bump to 35. So yeah, I'm sure every point matters. So you would have liked to see a little bit more out of that performance, especially from the way it started. But yeah, Arizona just was just playing for pride for most of that game. Far easily enough to get past Gags to Riches. Just another guy it's just been a struggle all year long, no matter what he's done. Just can't seem to find it. Just not your year. Sorry about that, Gags. What do we got? But you're still amongst the 5-5. So all is not lost yet. We got Aaron Rodgers going for 22. Michael Wilson, 7.5. Judy goes for 20. Mooney, 2.5. DeAndre Swift, 15. Dylan Sampson, only 0.9. He catches a pass, but he had a reception, but he still scored less than 1 point. His only rush was -4. Kyle Pitts goes for 6. Kendrick Bourne, 3. Ricard, your Vikings kicker, goes for about 10. And then your Saints defense, Yahoo says 17. They actually showed up this week for you. You got a pretty good bump here. Let's see. 15 would be not enough. 15, 18 would take you 21 probably. Another 21 points to 38. Yeah, because I don't think the Carolina offense did much at all in that matchup here. So yeah, bright spot there. Your Saints defense, Gags, but that's pretty much it. So your opponent goes over 200. You need your team to show up, and they did not do it this week. But yeah, like I said, you're still 5-5. You're eighth. You're in 8th place. But I said there's a whole handful of teams that are 5-5. So at this point, even though it's looking kind of bleak, just looking at your roster, you're still right in there, at least for the time being. Not So Mighty Whites with the victory. He goes to 6-4. He is in 3rd place. All right, so that is week 10. For some reason, Yahoo says that's our rivalry week. Whatever that means. It's random. Nobody cares what Yahoo has to say. But yeah. Anything else that we missed? I don't think so. I think we got everything. The knockout pool said week always comes down to week 11, and that is Disco versus Detling. Unfortunately, if only they could have been playing together and playing against each other this week, would have made it a little more exciting. But yeah, said Possum Magic, you are on life support. You're 3-7. We got 3 teams at 4-6. So guys, we're only down only 4 weeks left in the regular season. So Kevin, Zach, and Brian, your max win total, you'd have to win out to get to 8. So really, you can only afford maybe 1 more loss here. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 5-5. We got Disco, the Wizard, Shawshank, Biscuits, and Gags, all trying to hold on. And I think we can pretty much at this point conclude that Ed, Justin, and Detling are going to be in the playoffs. So that's 3 of our 6 spots. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I think it's a safe assumption at this point that those guys are going to be in there. So Detling has won. He's gonna have win number 6 in a row, almost certainly, unless something absolutely insane happens. So yeah, so these 5-5s, these 4-6s, it's going to be fighting for. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. 8 teams fighting for 3 spots here. But Disco's looking pretty good. He's been strong. We'll see what happens. So yeah, again, those last couple spots is going to be a dogfight these last few weeks to try and get in there. What do we got here for week 11? We got 2 5-5s. We got me versus Josh. We got Disco versus Biscuits. That'll be a good one. Any other 5-5s? Heads up. No, that's it. Those 2. So yeah, that could be there's huge matchups for those 2 guys, or for all 4 of us. So trying to get over 500. I don't think I've been over 500 all year. Josh has been reeling the past few weeks, trying not to drop below 500. Biscuits also in the same boat. I think Disco trying to climb back to over 500, while Biscuits trying to get back above 500. Teams going in different directions right now. Disco and Wizard arrows have been pointing up, while Shawshank and Biscuits, the arrows have been pointing down. But that's recently. Anything could change any given Sunday here. Like I said, not so mighty tighty whiteys. Huge favorite against Zach. Zach, you basically can't afford in a week where you can't afford to lose. I think I said before, at least we'll see what you do. Maybe with a trade or 2 or anything in free agency here overnight. But like I said, you can't even put together a full lineup as of right now with your guys who are injured or on bye. Yeah. You got Pacheco, you got Ridley, and you got Matthew Golden all on your bench. But will any of them play is anyone's guess as of right now. And you still have Kamara in your starting lineup, even though he's on a bye. So yeah, it's looking bleak this week. Zach. What else do we got? We got Gags trying to hold on, but he gets Justin this week, so that'll be tough. It's a Dub C again, another team trying to hold on, but he gets Ed this week. So we got a lot of teams at the top battling teams at the bottom. So this could be a huge factor for some of these guys. Said Dub C for Gags, for Zach, for Brian probably too. This is a must win. Possum is pretty much, for all you guys is pretty much said Zach, Brian, Kevin, Tree. You all have to win out. And since Possum and Brian are playing each other this week, it's not possible. It's literally impossible for both of you to win out your schedules here. So something's got to give, and we'll see what happens there. We could be clapping out Possum Magic while Hillbillies tries to hold on. Ed versus Dub C. That's a tough spot for you, Kevin. When you need a victory, so you're getting Ed, so that's tough. Gags needs one, but he's getting Justin. That's tough. Biscuits versus Disco should be a good matchup. But Zach, when you need a victory, you're going up against Detling, so that's like we already talked about that enough. But yeah, me versus Josh, that should be a good matchup too. Could go either way. So yeah, setting the tone for these last couple games. So for either me or Josh, which direction we go in, and who else? Disco, trying to climb back in there. So yeah, it's going to be so it's important. Just bad timing for some of you guys here. Like I said, Possum, Brian, Kevin, and Gags. You don't want to try. This is when you can't fall any further back. But it is not looking good for you here in week 11. Oh, we're already at 47 minutes here, I guess. So that's pretty much it. We previewed his matchups here. Who's on bye here? I don't think there's much. There's the Colts, and we've got the Saints. So Possum Magic. No Jonathan Taylor this week. That's tough for you. Not much. Not much. So yeah, you got the Olive, and you've got Jonathan Taylor on a bye this week. I was trying to think of who's using any Saints really much anyway. I said Kamara, he's out this week. All those receivers from the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, Possum, you're getting hurt by bye weeks and the matchup here. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna. Jeez. All right, but hey, any given Sunday, as we know, anything can happen. So let's just quick here take a peek. Those guys like to do it too. Take a look at the projections here. Oh, holy fuck. Yahoo, Brian. Yahoo thinks you're going to go 7-7, and you're going to make the playoffs. Brian, who predicted himself to win out the rest of his schedule and make the playoffs. Yahoo thinks you're going to do it too. As of right now, you're going to end up 7-7, and you're going to squeak your way into the playoffs. Yahoo thinks Ed is going to drop to 5. Let's see. Detling, I think Yahoo thinks Disco is going to win the rest of his games. Yahoo thinks I'm going to win the rest of my games. I don't know about that. I think Detling's going to... Yahoo has Detling losing once, and then Justin... What's Justin's record? Yahoo thinks Justin's going to win out. So yeah, they think a lot of people are going to win out here. Yahoo thinks Justin's going to win out. It thinks Disco's going to win out. It thinks I'm going to win out. It thinks Brian is going to only lose one more time and squeak into the playoffs. They think Ed's going to lose three out of 4 matchups here in the last few weeks here. Let's take a look at who Ed's got. Ed's got Kevin. Yeah. Ed, this is a rough final stretch for you. you got Detling, Justin, and Disco. All teams right there at your nipping at your heels. So yeah, that's actually gonna be a very interesting to see how that shapes up and see who ends up in the number one spot here. Which two teams get playoff byes? So yeah, that's actually gonna be pretty interesting. We'll see if Ed can hold on to his first place spot where he's been for quite a while now. All right, we've cracked the 50-point barrier. That's way too long. I'm gonna have to go drink some hot tea and rest my throat. I've got done a whole week's worth of talking here in the last 50 minutes. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening, watching, or whatever it is you do. May everyone's teams and players meet or exceed expectations this week. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody has a good time. And we come back here next week to talk about the events of Week 11. Rapidly approaching Thanksgiving and the trade deadline. I've been anxiously anticipating. I've been looking at the league page this week. Today, I've been looking at the league page ever since Gags happened to say, hey, I posted a message on the lineup saying, hey, who are the guys who are not available to be keepers next year? Which suggests that perhaps Gags is looking to make a move with his one and final trade. So I've been waiting to see something pop up along those lines, see what Gags pulls out for his final trade here. Because remember, we was only going to each team only gets one keeper next year. Maybe you were thinking about Chase Brown, who's not eligible. But other than that, you got Jaden Daniels. I'd probably stick with him, even though this season has kind of been a wash for you, Gags. For him, still strong player. They've lost a bunch of players too. He's still there for you next year. That was my initial thought was, what does Gags see? What's he got? What's he cooking up? Some kind of trade, but nothing has happened yet. But we'll see. Since we got free agency tonight, don't tell you that there's too much exciting going on. But I've already rambled for an extra 2 minutes here. Nobody's even watching anyway, so I don't even know why I am wasting all this breath. All right, guys. No injuries this week. Please, fantasy gods, no more injuries. Everybody's happy. Everybody is happy and healthy. And we come back next week to discuss the events of Week 11. Should be a fun one as the playoff race heats up, guys. We'll see what happens. Looking forward to it. All right. Thanks for listening, watching, or whatever it is you do. And we'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye. And thanks, guys.